Yo, what's going on, guys? Eric here. Today's video, we're installing the Performance Pack Strut Tire Brace. It's been about 2 years since I've made a video, but basically a lot has changed on the car. So first things first, I did the Performance Pack underbelly conversion along with the Performance Pack 2 splitter conversion on the Mustang. This was originally a base car, well, 401A GT Premium, but little by little I've been trying to convert it over to the Performance Pack inspired, essentially. As you can tell, these are Performance Pack 2 inspired wheels. These are the SVE SP2 wheels from LMR. I'm running 19 by 11, 305, 30, all four corners. So to get them to fit up front, I needed a 25mm slip-on spacer, ARP 3-inch extended studs, and some open-end lug nuts, which these aren't proper, but that's because the open-end lug nuts I had got at the time did not fit, and they did not want to clear the wheel that I had on at the time. So, but now I should probably order some proper ones, but for now that's what we're running. I also have the Stita camber plates up top, so I'm running about -3 degrees of camber in the front, and I'm running about -2 degrees of camber in the rear. I also am lowered on iBox sport lines right now, so the car sits pretty low, but that's all about to change. And yeah, I'm also full bolts on E85 now, so I have the Corsa Extremes over here, and I have catless long tip headers, Cook's long tip headers to be specific, so I could get an angle on there. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're running. And to be more specific about my rear suspension, I'm running Godspeed rear camber arms and rear toe links. So that's how I'm able to get my alignment dialed in. And yeah, the car rides pretty nice right now, but I do need to upgrade the sway bars, which we'll be doing in the next video. And I have some other plans as well, such as shocks and struts. So I'm really excited. One thing that I forgot to mention as well is that I also swapped over the 355 gears that I had for a Torsen 373 differential. So it's essentially almost a Performance Pack car, just without the Magna Ride and the track pack brakes or the 6-pot Brembos. So I'm still running the 4 pots at the moment, but soon that's going to change, and we'll have a Performance Pack car. That's not a Performance Pack car, but to me it doesn't matter. I just want those upgrades because I think that I should have got it out the gate, but I got such a good deal on the car that it didn't matter at the time. But now I find myself upgrading those parts now. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna take off this little engine cover, battery cover. So I already kind of took off some of the bolts earlier, so we'll just throw this on the side. And then we gotta get all these little push pins out, and we gotta take off the old plastic brace. So we'll get that off right now. Alright guys, so I'm prying off all these little pins right now using this tool. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but it's getting the job done, so we're just gonna keep doing that. Yeah, one by one we take all these off, and once we have this loose, we're gonna take off this plastic brace right here, and we're gonna put on this metal one. Alright guys, so I pretty much pried off all the push pins, and now what we're gonna do is remove this plastic brace right here, because obviously it's plastic, it's not gonna be as sturdy as the metal. But yeah, we're also gonna have to shim this up with something, that way we could get to the bolts with easier access. So I'm gonna set something up here, and I'll show you guys how I get it out. Honestly, I didn't have anything to hold this up with, so I'm using the lug nut, spline lug nut kit to hold up the cowl brace. So we're gonna get these bolts out, and then we're gonna put this in. Now all we're gonna do is just loosen it with our 13mm ratchet, and also if you have ratcheting wrenches, that will help for getting these ones out here that have very little clearance. So I would highly recommend some of these. I got the Icon ones from Harbor Freight, and this is just a random Milwaukee tool set that I have. Alright guys, so taking these bolts off is not hard at all, nor are these ones, because they're not really torqued down that much. So yeah, when I get to the next part of the install, I'll show you guys what to do. I also forgot that you need to take off these bolts right here, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm sure just gotta pry this off, which if I had a camera set up, which I will get soon, I would be able to show you guys, but I'm gonna have to do this off camera. So yeah. Alright guys, so to get this little brown thing off is kind of tricky, but you just got to keep on prying on it and trying to wiggle it off at the same time. It's not hard at all, just a little tedious, but yeah, we're pretty much almost done taking this off. Just got to get this last bolt off, and then we could take this off and we can start putting our new braces on. So I'm pretty excited, and I can't wait to feel how the car is after installing these parts. Alright guys, so I've been taking this off, and as you can tell, this is what's been holding the chassis together. Not really a rigid part, you know. This obviously, since it's steel, I'm pretty sure it's steel, don't quote me, but obviously it's gonna stop all the chassis flex that we always get during cornering. So yeah, I'll try to record a POV later, maybe tomorrow honestly, because I do have work later, so we'll see how that is. But yeah guys, after I get this off, I'll show you guys the next part. Alright guys, and honestly I was being pretty lazy. I wasn't going to take off the battery terminal, but I did. It makes it a lot easier. So yeah, we'll do that real quick, and it makes it so much easier to pry this off. And there we go, got it. Now it's off. It's out with the old and in with the new. Alright guys, so basically I had to take this to the garage. It's nighttime now. I kind of went to sleep and all that, but long story short, the way I had installed it the first time was incorrect. So we're picking up from where we started last. You have to get these mounting tabs, there's 3 of them precisely, to tuck in underneath that little firewall lip. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. I've been doing this for like 10 minutes, but that's basically what you have to do. So there's one more right over there, I'm pretty sure. So I can lift up so you can see. Yeah, it's right there. So you want to basically slide this in at an angle, and you got to get these underneath the firewall lip. So I'll do that, and I'll show you guys the next part. Alright guys, so this took me a minute. So I'm basically using the little firewall brace to kind of use this pry bar to push it up. So I was able to slide it in, and now it should be over the holes. I did pry those up just a tiny bit so I could actually clear it, but when I bolt it back down, it should settle again. And yeah, I was also using this trim tool to hold that part up. And yep, it should be good now. So let me get to this side so I can show you guys what it's supposed to be looking like. So yeah, it's supposed to be under there, and everything lines up, so that's good. So I'm pretty happy now. So now we're on to the next step, which is going to be to bolt those holes in the rear, the 3 in the rear first, and then after that we'll bolt down the brace again, and yeah, we'll have our strut tower on for the second time, but properly. Alright guys, a little tip I wanted to point out here. I seen some guy on a forum use a piece of wood to hold this up, or kind of hold that down. You want to kind of have these like near the holes right here where the little tabs push in. That's going to keep it aligned, so when you are bolting it in, it should make it a lot easier. If you have like these lined up, this should be lined up as well almost. So yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass to do it, but once you get these started, just gotta tighten them down. Also wanted to mention the tools that have been really useful to me to tightening the bolts down were 13mm ratcheting wrench and a 1/4 inch ratchet with a 13mm socket. This will help you fit, especially once you get them kind of tightened down with this one, with the wrench. This little socket and the ratchet will help you get that final tighten in, and then after that you get started on this brace right here, which I'm still kind of using to hold the pry bars up. But yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, and it looks funny, but it works, because I'm honestly did not want to buy the windshield wiper removal tool. It probably would have made it a lot easier, but I couldn't be asked with doing that. Alright guys, so you do kind of have to thread these on a lot by hand first, and then once they get tight, like, I'm fucking barely fitting my fingers in there, honestly. Just gotta really just hand tighten them first. Once you can't do that, you switch over to the ratcheting wrench, and then move over to the ratchet. It's a little bit of a pain. I wish I could show you guys how oh, this would be a perfect example right here. So I'm kind of using my 2 fingers and just pushing and pushing. And after that, once it's like hand tight, we grab the ratchet and we get to work. Alright guys, I got it low enough so I can start ratcheting it now. Should be a lot easier now. It's a really tight squeeze here, guys. So once it's like tight enough, you want to go, I think the torque spec is 21 to 26 foot-pounds of torque. I don't remember, but I just go hand tight and then snug without stripping the bolt. Alright guys, I finally got all 3 bolts tightened down. It's a tight squeeze. Not these ones. These 2 right here weren't too bad, but this one right here was a pain in the ass. I had to use a ratcheting wrench the whole time for that one. I could not fit the socket in there. So if you do have like short sockets or whatever, that would help out immensely. I don't have that luxury yet, so just had to wrench through it. So now what we're gonna do is finally we're gonna throw the Cowl firewall brakes on here, and it should connect. We want it on these 2 holes right here, or it's 2 studs, sorry about that. These 2 studs, you want these, well, it'll be flipped, so these 2 will be on that side and those 2 will be over here. So once I have it lined up, you guys will have a clearer picture. But also make sure you line it up with these holes right here. You can see these are the mounting holes. So, and then you also want your tabs right here to be kind of pushed in. Once you tighten everything down, it should kind of like all squeeze together, but for now it's gonna look a little funky. But once this is on, you'll be all set. Okay guys, so I have it now lined up on the 2 studs right here, and the 2 on the passenger side as well. So yeah, it should all be lined up pretty closely. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect, but once you bolt everything down, it should all settle into place. Don't bolt these holes right here. These are for push pins. So I'll show you guys the holes that you need to bolt, put actual bolts in. So it'll be this one, and this one right here. You'll be able to tell too, because it'll have like these little I don't know what the hell they're called. I just know the bolts go in there. I'm still kind of new to this, guys. Sorry about that, but yeah. And it'll go right here, and that'll be all the bolts you'll need to put in. So it'll be all in all, I think 5 bolts. So it's not that much. It's pretty easy. But yeah, I'm gonna get these bolted in now, guys. Okay guys, so you guys are gonna put your bolts that we took out earlier. So here, right here, and there's gonna be 2 under here, 1 right there, and one right there. And then lastly, your last bolt will be right here, and that's all you'll need to tighten down. And after that, you can start kind of getting ready to throw the strut tire brace on. So that'll go over this cowl brace, and I'll show you guys what that'll look like in a second. All right guys, so I have the strut tire brace on. You're gonna want it basically over the, I always forget what that's called, the cowl brace. You're gonna want it over the cowl brace, and you're gonna want it to be over the two studs by the strut towers. And yeah, and we're just gonna bolt these down with some, I think these, I want to say they're 15 millimeter, yeah, 15 millimeter nuts. So you're gonna tighten these down. I prefer to kind of start like in a, not star pattern, well basically, but from this corner to this corner, then I hit that corner, and then I go back down to this corner and I tighten them down all the way. That way it's kind of like distributed evenly. I don't really have the torque specs honestly, so I just do it snug, no over tightening. And after that, I'll show you guys where you need to put all the little clips. Smack the shit out of my head. So to get it kind of torqued down all the way. It should be tight enough, and after that, I'm gonna hand tighten them. Not hand tighten, just with the ratchet, not using this. I don't go all the way, I don't want to strip the bolts. So yeah, and we'll just tighten these down after. So I usually like to start like this. So we already kind of torqued these down, but not all the way. Just get these snug. Like that should be fine, and we'll do that for all four of them. Alright guys, so now that we got everything snugged up, what we're gonna do is start putting these little push pins back in to where we took them out. So I believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on this side. And once we put on the battery cover, we should have like 2 more, I believe, and then those little screw-on ones. But we also need to connect the battery back, so you're just gonna, well, obviously you're gonna put that back on with the 10 millimeter. Put it back on and then tighten it down with the 10 millimeter. I'll do that off camera because I don't really play when it comes to batteries. So yeah. Also, in the next video I do, I'm gonna try to set up one of my old GoPros, just so I can have more actual footage of, so you guys can see what I'm working on instead of me just kind of giving a description. But yeah guys, it's all said and done. Just gotta put those push pins back in, and yeah. Alright guys, once you guys have your battery put back on, you just want to put the battery cover on, and that should be pretty self-explanatory. It's 3 little push screws, and yeah, I'll put that on right now. Alright guys, so those 3 push screws, one here, one there, one there, and there's some little tabs that you kind of slide that back onto. And yeah, that should be all. That was a pretty fun install. If I didn't mess up the first time, I would have been done, but yeah. Strut tire brace, the cowl brace, and then the extension is in there, so it should be more rigid. Hopefully tomorrow morning I can go out and get some driving content so I could show you guys the difference. Well, I didn't record it before, but I know how it feels, and it was pretty wobbly before, but now with this, and then I have some new suspension on the way, the car should be a lot more capable handling wise, especially with these 305s I got on it. But yeah guys, thank you guys for watching that, and I'll see you guys in a bit. I honestly couldn't wait to go for a drive, so I took it out for a little spin. Everything's been good so far. just gonna grab some gas and then we'll go hit some turns right now. Alright guys, we're rolling up to the gas station right now.
K-band.
$1.69 a gallon. For 10 gallons, that ain't bad. Part, the ride is a lot more composed than it was before. Even going over bumps doesn't feel like nearly as harsh as it did before, and the car has a lot more responsiveness compared to how it used to be, which I'm really happy about. $1.69 for gas. Citrus Avenue got the gas prices, if you know what I mean. test out some of the handling capabilities. Wish all the base GTs came with the strut tower brace from factory, but honestly, it's definitely worth it. All in all, I paid about $190 shipped for the brace, the cowl brace, and the little firewall extension, so it was definitely worth it. It just feels so much more responsive and a lot smoother on these turns. And once I couple that with my new suspension that's coming in, the car will be perfect. So that'll be coming up in the next video, but yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out, guys, and thank you guys for watching. Just enjoy the rest of the POV.